the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Armed Forces of the Philippines joins 83rd Araw ng Kagitingan in Bataan. MARX 2025 highlights maritime capability demo and joint artillery littoral live fire exercise. Filipino confirmed dead in Myanmar quake. PBBM says solution to war is not more war.
Good day, everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Thursday, April 10, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Rob Suzon, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News. DWDD Armed Forces News. And the Armed Forces of the Philippines joined the nation in commemorating the 83rd Araw ng Kagitingan at Mount Summit National Shrine in Pilar, Bataan. The event was led by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. together with Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. and AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo S. Brownwer Jr. The said ceremony honored the sacrifices of Filipino heroes and served as a call to not only remember the past but to actively work towards a stronger and more united Philippines. Meanwhile, the Day of Valor is a powerful reminder of the shared responsibility to protect the freedom of our heroes fought for and to actively contribute to the progress and unity of the nation. DWDD Armed Forces News. And as a major component of the ongoing Marine Exercise 2025, the Armed Forces of the Philippines conducted a joint artillery littoral live fire exercise at Barangay Pinansaran, Dato Blas in Suat, Maguindanao del Norte. Prior to the live fire exercise, participating troops successfully executed a full mission profile amphibious assault, demonstrating the seamless integration and coordination of joint forces composed of Philippine Army, Philippine Navy, and Philippine Marine Corps troops, alongside their counterparts from the U.S. Marine Corps. Highlight of the exercise was the firing of the Philippine Army's Field Artillery Battalion's Elbit autonomous truck-mounted howitzer system, 155mm and 52 caliber self-propelled artillery, along with a 155mm self-propelled howitzer and the 105mm howitzers of the Philippine Marine Corps. Meanwhile, the exercise is demonstration of the AFP's dedication to safeguarding the nation's sovereignty and strengthening its defense capabilities. DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio. From the other line, let us hear more details about Philippine Army USARPAC sharpen war fighting skills in exercise sa Laknib. Going for the details, Meljoy.
Yes, Jhai, the Philippine Army troops and their United States Army Pacific counterparts conducted subject matter expert exchanges in crucial warfighting functions as part of the ongoing 10th iteration of Exercise Salaknib and Fort Magsaysay Nueva Ecija. Philippine Army and United States Army Pacific signalers conducted the subject matter expert exchanges focused on radio communication. The training included familiarizing and operating equipment between both partner forces using and incorporating radio and digital assets and constructing an antenna. It was conducted in two separate locations with the goal of establishing a line of communication between both systems. This is Meljoy Nesho Aroko reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy. The municipality of Pinakbakdao was officially declared stable internal peace and security condition at Barangay Ubayan Covered Court, Pinabakdao, Samar. The said declaration was led by the Municipal Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, together with local government unit, law enforcement agencies, different stakeholders, and the people of the municipality. 8th 2nd Infantry Peerless Brigade Commander Brigadier General Noel A. Vestuer commended the success of the internal peace and the security of the municipality to the proactive cooperation of MTF-LCAC. Meanwhile, Pinabacdao is the 53rd local government unit to be declared as insurgency-free within the brigade's area of operation.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippine and Australian armies conducted the 8th Philippine Army-Australian Army Staff Talks held at Headquarters Philippine Army, Fort Bonifacio, Taguig City. The activity was led by Acting Chief of Staff of the Philippine Army, Major General Ferdinand B. Napoli, and the Deputy Chief of Army of Australian Army, Major General Chris Smith. The activity included plenary sessions on the PA-OSA engagements, Australian National Defense Strategy, Philippine Army Strategic Direction, key leaders engagement activities, and a review of the activities conducted for the year 2024. Meanwhile, the said activity aimed to expand both forces' cooperation in regional defense and security.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
For more updates, let us hear more from Joanne about Balikatan 40-25 NCAP project underway in Bulacan. Joanne?
The AFP and U.S. forces collaborates on classroom renovation of a 9 by 40 meter classroom building at Pulong Sampaloc Elementary School in Doña Remedios Trinidad, Bulacan as part of the 40th iteration of the Balikatan Exercise 2025. Personnel from the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the United States Pacific Air Forces carried out a joint meeting with the school principal, inspected the material storage area, and assessed the building's condition. The team also conducted site preparation and clearing activities. The project, which began on April 6, 2025, is set for completion by May 7, 2025, with a dedication ceremony scheduled for 08 May 2025. This initiative highlights the ongoing collaboration between AFP and U.S. forces under Balikatan 2025, strengthening their partnership in humanitarian and engineering efforts. This is John Sagok reporting from Northern Luzon Command for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And in commemoration of the Araw ng Kagitingan, another victory against insurgency was recorded by the government forces after another large gun depot was seized in Barangay Exibaan Labo, Camarines Norte. The operation was conducted by the combined forces of the 16th Infantry Battalion under the 201st Infantry Brigade, 2nd Infantry Jungle Fighter Division, partners and of the 7th Scout Ranger Company, Camarines Norte 2nd Provincial Mobile Police Force Company, and the 91st Special Action Company. As a result of information shared by the former member of the Communist Terrorist Group, the following weapons of war were recovered at the scene. One 5.56mm Ultimax light machine gun, one 5.56 M653 rifle, 7.62mm M14 rifles, 7 5.56mm M16A1 rifles, 6 7.62mm M14 magazines, 330 rounds of the 5.56mm M16 steel magazines, other ammunitions, and firearms. Meanwhile, the Philippine Army calls on the remaining members of the group to abandon the armed struggle, embrace the government's reintegration programs, and embrace the path of peace.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Department of Foreign Affairs said the remains of one of the 4 missing Filipinos in Mandalay in Myanmar have been positively identified. DFA said the family of the deceased Filipino has been informed. Out of respect for their privacy, the agency is withholding further information on the matter. The department said it will continue to work and hope for the best for the remaining 3 Filipinos, still unaccounted for as a result of the powerful earthquake which hit Myanmar last 28th of March.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a reporter on the ground about 9th Infantry Division joins 83rd Araw ng Kagitingan commemoration in Naga City. Go on for the details, Jess.
The 9th Infantry Division Philippine Army joins the commemoration of the 83rd anniversary of Araw ng Kagitingan with the theme Kabayanihan ng Veterano, Sandigan ng Kaunlaran ng Bagong Pilipinas, held at Naga City Hall on April 9, 2025. Naga City Mayor Nelson Legacion and Brigadier General William P. Peñafiel, commander of 902nd Infantry Brigade, led the wreath-laying ceremony at the Monument of Unknown Soldiers in honor of the heroes who sacrificed their lives during World War II. Also participating in the program were the Naga City Police Office, Bureau of Fire Protection, Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, and other government agencies and various organizations and individuals. The 9ID emphasized the importance of learning from the past as a guide in promoting peace and development for the present generation. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess.
DWDD National News.
And rain extinguished a grass fire on Canlaon volcano following an eruption last Tuesday. Canlaon City Fire Station Officer in Charge Fire Inspector Marlo Abrenica said the rain was not strong enough to trigger a lahar or mud flow, and the fire did not spread downward towards forested or residential areas due to slow-moving winds. PVOX declared the fire out by 9 a.m. yesterday, April 9, and Abrenica said they have yet to determine the full extent of the damage without a direct aerial inspection.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippines led the adoption of a resolution to draft a new international treaty to further promote the rights and welfare of elderly people worldwide. The country sought the promotion of the rights of older persons at the 58th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, the Philippines recognizes the challenges faced by the older population, including violence and discrimination based on age. DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo emphasized the move is multilateralism in action, working for human rights and for a future without age discrimination.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Jhai about Armed Forces of the Philippines successfully conducts troop rotation and resupply mission at Ayungin Shoal on Valor Day. Jhai?
Good afternoon, Jhai. In a successful operation, the Armed Forces of the Philippines completed a routine troop rotation and resupply mission to BRP Sierra Madre at Ayungin Shoal, West Philippine Sea. The mission took place yesterday, coincided with the celebration of the Day of Valor, to give honor and tribute to the troops aboard at BRP Sierra Madre who continue to uphold the Philippine sovereignty in the region. Despite the challenging maritime conditions, RORI mission was executed with the close coordination of the Philippine Coast Guard. The AFP continues to reaffirm its commitment and unwavering dedication to defend the nation's territorial waters and protecting its national interests. This is Jhai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD National News.
And the Public Attorney's Office and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees have renewed partnership through a Memorandum of Understanding. The MOU aims to provide legal assistance to refugees and asylum seekers, among others. PAO Chief President Rueda Acosta said that she signed the MOU with Maria Ermina Gallardo, UNHCR's National Office Head, who hailed the refreshed collaboration that began in 2013. Gallardo also acknowledged the work of the men and women of PAO in extending the services and protection to the cornered sector, the refugees and stateless persons in particular.
DWDD National News.
And the Anti-Red Tape Authority Secretary Ernesto Perez encouraged public sector stakeholders to work together in implementing the ease of doing business system in the country. Perez emphasized that a collaborative approach is vital for all government agencies and local government units in implementing the EODB system. This aims to promote the Philippines as a business-ready country to attract more investors locally and globally. Perez added that more business in the country would result in more employment opportunities for the people.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Kath about CG Path reaffirmed support for Focus Path during visit to TOG 3. Kath?
The The Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, POF, reaffirms his support for POF Bocus as he conducted his first field visit to the Tactical Operations Group 3 or TOG 3 at Camp General Cerviliano Aquino, Tarlac City. Lieutenant General Cordura was warmly welcomed by the officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resource of TOG 3. It is led by their group commander, Lieutenant Colonel Judy Grant D. Generalao, PAF GSC. In his keynote address, Lieutenant General Cordura reaffirmed his leadership trust, focus PAF, and this initiative aims to build a mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based Air Force. Moreover, CGPAF also lauded the unit's active role in Central Luzon, calling the unit a pillar of strength in the region. He also urged TOG 3 personnel to remain steadfast in their service and to consistently uphold professionalism, integrity, and excellence. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said that the only solution to war was peace agreed upon by all parties involved. In his speech during the commemoration of the 83rd Araw ng Kagitingan at the Mount Samat National Shrine in Pilar, Bataan yesterday, Marcos urged the nation to learn from the lessons of the past and apply them to build a brighter future. He emphasized that one of the lessons that the country learned is that the solution to war is not more war but only peace. The president then lamented that many countries still have yet to learn such a lesson.
DWDD National News.
And the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources has raised a red tide alert in Zamboanga del Sur and Zamboanga Sibugay provinces. Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council Region 9 reiterated the warning, saying that a paralytic shellfish poison, otherwise known as toxic red tide, was detected in Dumangquillas Bay in Zamboanga del Sur and Tantanang Bay in Zamboanga Sibugay. All types of shellfish and alamang gathered from the areas are not safe for human consumption. It also said that fish, squids, shrimps, and crabs are safe for consumption, provided they are fresh and washed thoroughly, and internal organs such as gills and intestines are removed before cooking.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
More updates about Philippine Navy welcomes future BRP Miguel Malvar. Go ahead for the details, Bea.
The Philippine Navy officially welcomed its newest corvette, the BRP Miguel Malvar, with a grand arrival ceremony at the Naval Operating Base Subic, Zambales. The ceremony was graced by several high-ranking officials, including Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr. as guest of honor and speaker. Also present were General Romeo Browner Jr., Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Ambassador Sang-Hwa Lee from the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines, and Vice Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Espeleta, Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy. The BRP Miguel Malvar is a modern warship from South Korea that is equipped with advanced technology to perform anti-ship, anti-submarine, and anti-aircraft operations. The acquisition of this vessel marks another important milestone in the Philippine Navy's modernization efforts. This Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD National News.
And the Bureau of Corrections is set to review its security policies in transporting persons deprived of liberty. This comes after the personnel of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology were attacked along the Manila-Cavite Expressway while transporting a Chinese detainee. Bureau Director General Gregorio Catapang Jr. said the review aims to identify vulnerabilities and implement more stringent protocols to safeguard the transportation of high-risk detainees effectively. He added that while it was reported that 6 of the assailants were arrested, it is better to take precautionary measures.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of the Interior and Local Government has expressed its support for the reactivation of the Philippine National Police Media Security Vanguards. This specialized unit was originally created to protect the journalists from threats DILG Undersecretary Rolando Punos that journalists are not just messengers and are also truth tellers and defenders of the people's right to know. But in the pursuit of this mission, many of them become targets. Punos said a disturbing rise in attacks against media workers prompted the revival of the PNP Media Protection Unit.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Angel about UP Diliman and RESCOM Lead Freedom March. Angel?
Jhai, the University of the Philippines Diliman Campus and the Reserve Command of the Philippine Army jointly organized and led a Freedom March at the UP Diliman Campus in commemoration of Araw ng Kagitingan. The event drew a large crowd with over 1,000 participants, including reservists, ROTC cadets, veterans, personnel from the NCR Regional Community Defense Group of the Reserve Command Philippine Army, and the faculty members from UP Diliman. The program was highlighted by the presence of the commander of RESCOM, Major General Ramon Zagala, who served as the guest of honor and speaker. During his speech, Major General Zagala delivered the steering message, reminding everyone that Araw ng Kagitingan is not simply a holiday, rather an important occasion to reflect on the sacrifices made by the soldiers during the fall of Bataan 83 years ago. This is Angel Cruz Kamamot reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Angel. Another update from Ali about 56th Infantry Battalion and the Department of Trade and Industry successfully conducted financial literacy and bookkeeping seminar in Talaingod. Ali?
The 56th Infantry Battalion, in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry, successfully conducted a financial literacy and basic bookkeeping seminar in Talaingod, Davao del Norte. The seminar aimed to equip local residents with essential financial management skills, which was attended by various community groups, including the Ata Manobo Former Rebels Association, Salawao Developmental Workers Association, Tatag IP Scholars Parents Association, and Tatag Troopers. This initiative is part of the preparations for the turnover of the Dole Integrated Livelihood Program, which will support 3 people's organizations organized by the 56IB. Furthermore, the 56IB and DTI remain their commitment to empower former rebels, indigenous communities, and grassroots organizations as they continue their journey toward peace, progress, and sustainable development. This is Alali reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ali.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippines has affirmed its status as a prime tourist destination in Asia with multiple nominations at the 2025 World Travel Tours. The Philippines was set to defend its titles in 3 key categories: Asia's leading beach destination, Asia's leading dive destination, and Asia's leading island destination. Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco mentioned that sustained and dedicated efforts of the Department of Tourism have once again borne fruit with these nominations from the prestigious World Travel Awards. She added that they all reaffirm our steadfast commitment to carry out initiatives with sustainability and inclusivity in mind, efforts that have been made possible through the support of the Marcos administration.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.